Hello and welcome to Zephyr Training. I'm your host, Jeff, and I'm joined today by our marketing manager and all-around Facebook know-it-all, Mr. Dan Hayek. Dan, thanks for coming back.
Absolutely, Jeff. Happy to be here.
Cool, great. So I've got a few folks in the chat room, and as mentioned in the email that went out, today's focus is all about Facebook 101. We want to kind of show you the basics, things that are most pertinent to you as a real estate agent, make sure that you're getting the most out of the platform. I wanted to kind of flip our usual routine here and start with a question, because I did get a good question from one of your fellow agents about Facebook. And I think it's just a good place to start. So I'll just read a bit here. It says, I'm a pretty new Facebook user, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to use it to advertise my brand or the fact that I'm in real estate. How do agents use Facebook consistently? And Dan, I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, good question. So on the branding side, think Facebook business side, there are a couple of things to make your life easier. One of which is Social Made Simple. That is, I think of it as a content aggregator above anything else. So it's an opportunity to find content that you can either schedule within Social Made Simple, or you can kind of grab from Social Made Simple and go from there. And beyond that, you do want to promote anything and everything going on actively within your business. So a just listed, a just sold, coming soon. All of these are kind of different types of posts that you can execute on your Facebook business page. In addition to those, sorry, Jeff, I lost where I was going there, but sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. So I think kind of the general question is just, what are some of those things that you can do on a consistent basis? Because most people are usually thinking of the things that you share, I think,
Right.
and all that. What are some of the other things?
Sure. Yeah. So beyond the Facebook business page postings, which is kind of what I was covering there, there are the activities that you can take on from the personal side. So something like liking someone else's post. And there are other engagements like the love or the haha or the anger. So doing things like that. And in addition to that, commenting on someone's post. So those are things that you can do on the personal side to kind of stay engaged with people. In addition to that, you can think of Facebook as sort of an aggregation of things that your sphere of influence, people that you have decided are friends on Facebook, an aggregation of information of things going on in their life. So if you see a status and it makes you want to reach out to someone, or gives you reason to reach out to someone, go ahead and actually pick up the phone and text them or call them, because that one-on-one touch is going to be far more valuable than that like or that love or that comment on Facebook, and being one of 30 people who like something, or being one of 8 people who comments on something. Actually texting them is going to be a lot more meaningful.
That makes total sense. All right, so I'm going to read on to the second part of the question here. Sure. I mentions I have relatives and friends to whom I'm connected, but who don't really appreciate getting San Francisco real estate information. Makes perfect sense. And I'm not the type of person who is really into sharing what I had for dinner last night or my vacation photos. Can certainly relate to that as well. So is Facebook really the right social media platform for me? Should I consider other networks like LinkedIn or Instagram?
So the first thing you have to consider when determining what social media platform you should be on is, where is your sphere of influence, right? Because ultimately, the social media platforms are just tools to stay in touch with, to have meaningful touches with your sphere of influence. So if your sphere of influence is mostly on Facebook, Facebook is the easiest tool to use. For most people, in real estate, it really will come down to Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as the tools. Twitter's a little less relevant. It doesn't really work for real estate, and Snapchat is a little too young, quite frankly, to be meaningful for a real estate audience, or for the sphere of influence that's most relevant to a real estate professional. So that's the first part that you want to consider, is, where is my sphere? Then on the execution, it really does come down to, what are you comfortable with? If you're not someone who shares, who wants to share vacation photos, don't, like just simply figure out what your comfort level is and play into that. So again, on that personal side, that might just mean that you are observing and commenting and texting when appropriate, right? And on the but on the business side, because he did ask about the business page, people are going to follow your business page who want to see things that you would post on a business page. So that would be, the San Francisco market trend that he mentioned, or things going on in your business. And everyone has the opportunity to sort of comb and cultivate their newsfeed as they wish. So if someone who's a family member on the East Coast doesn't want to see those updates about the San Francisco real estate market anymore, they can simply mute your mute your page. So it really is ultimately about what they want to see. They will determine that. But being active and being considerate of posting regularly is going to be a benefit, because ultimately, like I said, it's a tool to reach your sphere. Absolutely.
And to kind of slightly echo that, I'd also say you've heard this all a bunch, that authenticity is kind of the currency on social media. So
that's a really good point.
The more you try and force it in there, the more people can kind of see through that. So it really is important to be you and represent yourself as kind of accurately as possible on social media, so that you're coming off as a real human being, as we all are.
Absolutely, yeah. Be authentic. Be authentically you to that point, because people will tell if not, and it will not make your life easier if you are forcing things on social media. It's just it just won't. So do what is most natural at the end of the day.
Right. I tried the ice bucket challenge. I mean, all that stuff. It's really just not what I'm known for. So, all right. Well, we're going to jump into our kind of traditional walkthrough in a little bit. Going to take a look at how to execute a post, how to build a business page, but also want to make sure that we have time to answer any of your questions. Really want to thank everyone for attending. We've got a really great turnout here. We've got 11 folks in the room. So at any time, feel free to throw those questions into the webinar chat. It's on the right side of the video player, and we'll kind of address them as they're coming along. But get those in as early as you can so that we don't miss them towards the end. And you could just, we'll either work them in as Dan's doing the walkthrough, or bring them up towards the end. Seth brings this up, and this is kind of relevant to what we're talking about right now. So yes, can you talk specifically about the relationship between the personal page and the business page?
Sure. I mean, there's any number of ways to interpret that question, but I think from a real estate agent's perspective, the relationship exists because you have one login for both. So you have your personal profile and you have your business page. From a more global perspective, your personal profile is a network of friends and family. It can also include past clients, of course, but this is a list of people who there is a connection made, an agreed upon connection made from both sides. So you can send out a friend request to someone, and vice versa, they can send one out to you. You're not friends on the personal side unless someone accepts that friend request, right? On the business side, it's a one-way street, basically. People can like your page whether you want them to or not. I don't know why you wouldn't want someone to like your page, but the connection, as it were, is in one direction. You can invite people to like your page, but they don't have to. But that you don't have to approve them liking it per se. The other very meaningful piece and distinction I want to make between the two is anything business related, anything real estate related where you are promoting yourself as a realtor has to go on the business page first. That's a rule that Facebook has. It's not one that they enforce necessarily, but it is one that they have. So once it's on your business page, you can share it over to your personal. From an external person, so someone who is friends with you and your personal page, they don't know, there is no external relationship with your business page and your personal. You log in and see it as one account essentially, but no one else does. So I hope that kind of gets to what Seth is asking. I know I approached it from a couple different angles, but I think I hopefully answered the question he was asking.
Yeah, I think so. And Seth, if there's anything we can clarify there, by all means, go ahead and drop that in. All right, so with that, let's start with something really kind of fundamental ABCs here of Facebook, how to execute a post.
Sure. Let me share my screen here. And I'm going to go ahead and post as myself. We're also going to walk through the process of creating a business page. Once we do, then I can actually go over that process as well, posting to the business page. But to start, let's go ahead and post as an individual. I'm going to go ahead and copy this link here, this URL here, which is to my buy-side page. All of you should be promoting this not only on Facebook, but also in your email signature. This basically, anytime you communicate with someone, they should have the opportunity to visit your buy-side page if they want. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this buy-side link, and I'm going to go ahead and refresh my Facebook page now, or my Facebook newsfeed, as it were. And once it's refreshed, at the top of the page, you'll see what's on your mind, Daniel. Once we're on the business side, you'll see write something as the prompt. But on the personal side, they try to make it a little more personal. And I'm going to go ahead and paste that link that I copied from buy-side. And instantly, you'll notice that it brought in a preview of what the link will look like once I post it. I will say that oftentimes, rather than this instant load, it will actually load with a little fetching preview placeholder. Make sure that you are patient and let that fetching preview turn into what we see here. You'll notice it automatically pulled in an image, it pulled in a headline as well, and a link description. Once all of those features are in place, you can actually get rid of the link you pasted in, type something out, and then you're ready to share. In my case, I have it defaulted to sharing to only me, which means literally only Daniel Hayek's Facebook would see this post. That's never going to make sense for you. The idea here is that you're using it as a tool to expose yourself, expose your brand to other people, and you can change who sees it right here with this click. So you can decide that you only want your friends to see it. Or more likely, if it's something that you're promoting your business, you're going to go ahead and select public, because that will mean that if any of your friends who see the post initially decide to share it, then their friends can see it, and their friends, and so on. So making sure you click that public button. I'm actually going to switch it back to only me for my own purposes, and go ahead and click post here. Once it loads up, I see it at the top of my newsfeed instantly to make sure that it worked. And you'll notice that it has this little padlock to remind me that I did share it to only myself. I can go ahead and click on the padlock and change it to public. So again, if you had done public initially, you would see that globe icon where I see the padlock icon. If you had shared it to friends, you would see the friends. There's no reason for you ever to do the only me. You should, at the minimum, be doing friends, but more likely than not, like I said, as an opportunity to reach a greater audience outside of even your friend base, go ahead and post as public.
One good use for the only me posting would be if you want to test, for example, what a post will look like in the timeline.
Very good point.
That's exactly what Dan did in this case, where he posted it privately so that he's not posting a link to this random buy-side page. And speaking of buy-side, looks like we can kind of set the table on what buy-side is for those that haven't seen it. That's our home value estimator tool that you all have access to. Should be at your at homevalue.zephyrre.com/ your first and last name.
Yep. As one word.
As one word, exactly. And if you don't see it there, you can get it from your agent website with, assuming you have one of the Zephyr agent sites, the home value estimator will take you directly to this page. But
you can also access it through the internet, through the back side, basically. If you go to the internet, you should see buy-side dashboard, a big green icon that says login. Click there, it will automatically log you in to your dashboard. And from there, you should be able to pretty easily navigate to this page.
Great. All right, so that's kind of executing a post in a nutshell. Got a couple questions that came in with regards to the business page, which is, I think, kind of the next place we're going to take this with building a page end to end. So Wendy asks, can people who see my business page also see my personal page?
No, so that was what I was trying to get at with Seth with Seth's question, you see your personal and your business when you log in as sort of being within the same ecosystem, being within the same login. But no, if you have a business page and someone stumbles across your business page, there is nothing publicly, nothing externally linking the two. So there is no obvious connection to the public audience at large that your business page is connected on the back end on your login to your personal page. That was a great way to ask that question, so I could clarify a little bit further.
Yeah. Okay, so Seth, sorry to hear you're lost. Yeah, but by all means, that this is meant as a kind of general session. So like, if you want to schedule one-on-one time with Dan, he is available to do that. So you reach him at dan.hayek@zephyrre.com, and we can kind of get some of this figured out. So Debbie also has a question here, and I don't know how challenging it'll be to answer, but maybe you can speak at a general term here. Since you can't share to your business page from your personal page, can you review how to post onto the business page from your phone? It sounds like she downloaded the Pages app on her phone, but doesn't see how to post from it.
Yeah, the Pages app is exactly where she wants to be. Once she's logged into her business page on the Pages app, the opportunity to post from there should be relatively straightforward. If we were using the mobile version of Zoom right now, I could get into that. But Jeff, if you wouldn't mind sort of earmarking that for our Facebook 201, maybe we can incorporate the mobile portion of Zoom onto our next Facebook webinar. Which, by the way, I do want to remind everyone that this is the first of several Facebook and Instagram webinars that we plan to do, and we do want to build them around your questions. So emailing us questions ahead of time to facebook@zephyrre.com will be very useful, just to help make sure that we have a few things lined up ahead of time. But then obviously also using the chat as we're doing today is a nice way to build out content as well.
Great. All right. So speaking of business pages, for those of you who don't already have one, we're going to now go through the process end to end, how to create it. You'll see we'll get this done in just a few minutes here.
Let's jump into it. I'm going to share my screen once again, and you should be seeing my Facebook page. So step one here, with a lot of things related to Facebook business page, with your Facebook business page, is clicking on this little arrow right here to the right of the question mark. A lot of people have a tough time finding that little guy. So I want to make sure everyone is aware that is going to be your friend when it comes to business page related things, ad related things. And it is where we're going to start off here to create our page. So I go ahead
and Dan, sorry, just right before we jump in, Denise had a really kind of general question about business pages. So I want to make sure we address kind of what some of the benefits are of a business page and why you want to have the separation from personal and business activity.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said earlier, answering Seth's question, Facebook technically does have a rule where if you are promoting your business, it has to be done on a Facebook business page. Like I said, I don't know that they've ever enforced it, but it is one of their rules. And it is an opportunity to more specifically brand yourself as being in real estate. So when we go over building this page, I'll talk a little bit about best practices in terms of naming your page. Your personal profile is going to be your name. So there's no automatic connection to real estate from a personal profile. It's simply your name. Whereas with a business page, you should have either the word realtor or real estate built into the name of your business page, so that there is that explicit connection. So that anytime you're promoting yourself, not only are they associating your name with real estate, they're also literally seeing your name next to the word realtor or real estate.
Exactly. And I'd say that if there is one kind of overarching benefit to it, it is that you get that that separation between audiences. You still have to be a person on Facebook as well and have friends and family and all that. The business page allows you to really focus all of your real estate related posts and activity directly on that page. Also, the business page has the benefit of not requiring an approval, or it's not like a friend request where you have have to take the action to approve that friend request, put that person into your circles, into your sphere of influence. With a page, they can simply visit the page, like it if they choose to, if they want to see your posts, and it's more of a kind of one-way street as opposed to the two-way street of a traditional, person-to-person connection. I hope that
Absolutely.
answers the question there, Denise. Let me know if there's anything we can clarify there.
Cool. So yeah, I will continue now with the process of building out the page. Step one is selecting the business type. Business type for a real estate agent is local business or place. I don't know if that's intuitive or not, but that is where Facebook wants those pages to be created. So I go ahead and click local business or place. And as I was saying, best practices in terms of the name for the page, you do want to have your name so that every post is associated with yourself, because ultimately you are your brand. Unless we're talking about a team that might be branding themselves with a team name. If you're branding yourself as an individual, your name should be on everything you do. And then add something in addition that has your name right next to a real estate term, realty, realtor, real estate, to be as explicit as possible. When someone is seeing things from your business page, they understand and have that association between your name and real estate instantly. Page category, one of the options is real estate agent. So I think naturally that's the one you would choose. Then I'm just going to use this office address. And then best practices here, always add the phone number that you're most likely to pick up. So for the majority of us, that would be our cell phone number. I'm just going to autofill this number. Oh, somehow I lost. Okay. So there we go. So info in terms of contact information and page name have been set up. So then I can click Get Started, and it takes me to the business page itself. Once that page loads, it immediately tells you basically to upload your profile picture. A business page without a profile picture looks very strange. So make sure that that is a step that you take instantly, as Facebook is suggesting you do. I'm gonna go ahead and skip it because this business page actually won't be live. And then the next thing it says is upload a cover photo. I'm gonna go ahead and click that to see what our options are. Okay, it's just allowing us to select photos. Go ahead and add a photo as your cover photo. But once you're actually on your page, once your page has been created, I recommend swapping out the cover photo for a cover video. Right now, it's not allowing business pages to use profile picture videos like you can on a personal page, on a personal profile, but it is allowing for videos on the cover photo. So I definitely recommend that. I'm gonna go ahead and skip that again, as this isn't actually going to be a live page, but I do want you all to know, and I'm gonna show you right now, when you click add a cover, here we go. When you click add a cover, one of the options is choose from videos or upload photo video. Again, cover video is, video always trumps still images. So any place that you can add a video, go for it. And you can see the dimensions of the cover photo here. So be considerate of that. Use a video that is a widescreen video ultimately for your cover video as well. This is something, so the cover photo or cover video is only something someone will see when they are actually on your business page, but give them a reason to stick around. Whereas the profile photo, the one over here, will be seen alongside your name anytime that you post, anytime someone sees your business page out in a newsfeed. The next step that I like to take is creating a page username. You'll notice right now that the URL for my page is Dan-Hayek-real estate- and then a string of numbers. That is generated automatically, but can be customized by clicking this create page username. And once you create it, sometimes it's approved automatically, Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. We'll see if mine's approved automatically, and it is. So now my custom URL has been created, and now it's a lot easier for me to share facebook.com/Dan Hayek Realtor with people than it would be Dan-Hayek-Real-Estate, et cetera, et cetera. So want to make sure that you do that from day one so you have an easy way to promote your page. While we're still here on the main page of your business page, want to go ahead and point out this send message button. Facebook now automatically defaults to send message as your kind of call to action on the homepage of your Facebook business page, but you do have the opportunity to change that button. Here, drop down says edit button. I recommend choosing something within the contact you drop down. Call now, send message, contact us, sign up, or send email. Call now is becoming more and more relevant, more and more worthwhile, as the majority of Facebook traffic is now actually on mobile. So when most of it was on desktop, having call now as your call to action didn't make a lot of sense. Now it makes a little more sense, but send email or contact us might still make a little more sense. And that is a personal decision ultimately. And then finally, Jeff, did you have?
Yeah, I did. Just a real quick one, because we had a couple of questions about the video
Cool.
cover photo.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine a couple of good examples of things that you might use would be, especially if you have a personal profile for yourself, that would certainly be a natural fit there. Maybe a recent property video that you did for a listing. What are some other good examples that you've seen?
Drone footage is great. Neighborhood walkthrough type of thing. Something that is relevant to either San Francisco or Marin, your marketplace, or yourself. Either of those options are great. But so I think the best of the best would be a short drone video.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know of any sample videos or anything that we have available for agents. So what would be some good resources for them to maybe get some video going?
There are a couple of different companies. I was actually meeting with an agent earlier this afternoon who uses a company called Promote ROI that generates short little videos. So he actually has a cover video generated by Promote ROI, and his video looks great. It's a great use of that space. But really, anything that fills that space. As a video is going to be a little more engaging than a still image.
Yeah, another option still is you can hire someone to do one of the motion graphic animation style videos. I've seen those pop up, and there are different vendors around that will do that for you. You can go to places like Fiverr to hire someone there if you're cost sensitive. That would be an option as well.
Absolutely, those are great other resources as well. The last thing I want to do to finalize setting up our page here is go ahead and click on our about. Go ahead and click on our about page. Actually, I'm going to interrupt myself here because I did accidentally click on events. That is another really meaningful way to use your Facebook business page that I honestly I'm not seeing enough people utilize. Anytime you have an open house, go ahead and create an event on Facebook with that and invite your friends to the event. Events are one of those things that Facebook prioritizes, so people will get notifications about an event, and events will drop down into news feeds far more often than other engagements. So if I mark myself as interested in an event, several of my friends are going to see that event, whether they follow your page or not. So events are a huge opportunity to get further exposure to your brand, and not only that, in a meaningful way. Promoting an open house and getting actual face-to-face interaction with people is always a good thing. So adding open houses to your Facebook events, to your business page, is a huge resource that I think is definitely underutilized by people at this point. But continuing on with the actual build of the business page, the last thing I want to do before inviting anyone to a newly created business page is go ahead and click on the About section. And here you're able to enter your email address, enter your website. Again, your phone number was captured when we first created the page, as was your location, but your email address and website, this is when you would add them. The about section is character limited. So you only have 255 characters to play with in the about. So basically the way to use the about section is to check off the compliance box. Add your license number, add Zephyr Real Estate, say, Dan Hayek is a real estate professional in San Francisco, California, license number 02 whatever, with Zephyr Real Estate. Something along those lines. Just kind of check that box. Your bio, because you would think that bio would go in about, but again, because it's character limited, your bio is actually going to go up here in our story, tell people about your business. And this is a relatively new feature. It's probably about a month old at this point. You can add another image to your story. And this image, like the cover photo, is a pretty wide landscape image. So be considerate of that when selecting an image. And once you've added an image to the story, you will see it on your homepage here along the side. If I'd added one, you'd see it here. So that's another nice thing about the changes they've made to story, is it really does show up your bio, and whatever image you select for it will show up right on the homepage of your Facebook business page.
Got it. So we had a quick question here from Debbie coming back to the video resources. Wanted to get links to those, so I dropped those right in the chat. PromoteROI.com and Fiverr.com with 2 R's on Fiverr to check out that site, and you can hire freelance artists and graphic designers there. We'll also send a follow-up email coming out after the session, and I'll drop those links in there as well so that we can jump in. All right, so I know it's getting real good right now. All the questions are starting to pour in. It's great to see. We definitely want to keep this as an ongoing session, so we don't want to kind of overload you today. So Facebook 201 is definitely on the docket, along with an Instagram video, all kinds of stuff, and we'll definitely take a look at the mobile posting workflow during that 201 session. But Debbie, in the meantime, if you want to reach out to Dan for some time, looks like if you're in the office, he's there at Upper Market, maybe you can track him down for a quick chat today. But sounds like you're in the right spot in terms of looking at the Pages app on your phone. Also want to mention again, if you have any questions for that 201 session, things you definitely want us to cover, we're still shaping the content of that, so you can email Facebook@zephyrre.com, and we'll take all those questions in and make sure that we include them. Douglas has a question. Hey, Doug. It says, what is the difference between someone liking versus following a business page? Ooh,
so, yeah, it is a good one. At first, almost none, and for most business pages, almost none. When someone likes a business page, Facebook automatically makes them follow the page. So they would have to take an action of unfollowing the page after liking it to separate. It will still count as a like, which is a shiny number that some people take a look at. And the follow number will decrease by 1 when they unfollow. That gets back to the discussion we were having about Paul's question about him worried about posting too many things about San Francisco real estate with an audience on the East Coast. And so that person, again, can take the action of unfollowing Paul's page because they're not interested in San Francisco real estate updates, but they would still be a like on his page. That's pretty much the difference.
That makes sense. And I think the other thing to tack on is that you can unfollow a page. You can unfollow a page, which doesn't revoke your like. It'll still show up among your likes, but it just means that you have the option to no longer see the posts from that page in your standard timeline, just when you log, or your news feed, I guess, when you log in to Facebook. If you unfollow a page, you'd have to visit it to actually see the content.
Yes,
happy to help, Doug.
Yeah, you'd still be able to see it when you visit, and you can realize that you made a terrible mistake and refollow the page while you're there visiting.
Always fun revisiting your mistakes. I do it on a regular basis. So for next week, we have a Contactually 201 session on Zephyr training. We're going to have Susan from Contactually back with us. She's actually in office right now. I hope she doesn't hate me for scheduling right up against her right now. So she's at Upper Market today. She's at Marin on Thursday, and then she'll be back with us next Wednesday for that live session. Contactually 201, we're going to get a little bit more advanced on from the kind of fundamentals we covered last time. So with that, I want to thank everyone for coming out today. We got a great turnout. I think we're going to do this registration format going forward. It's really nice because it gets everyone a reminder email leading up to the session, and I think just makes things a lot better with the turnout, and it's great to see everyone in the room. So I want to thank Dan. Dan, thank you for coming back, and we will look forward to the next session.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Where can people find you if they need a little bit more Facebook help?
Dan.Hayek at zephyrre.com. Hayek is H-A-I-E-K, or marketing@zephyrre.com.
Don't forget it. And support at zephyrre.com, best way to reach the technology team, and we will certainly help out where we can. Thanks everyone for tuning in today, and we'll see you next time.